Yeah, Colonel Reginald Farquhear, Royal Camel Corps retired. I was going to give you a little rendition of a little bit of prose and a little ditty. Okay, this one is entitled Picnic at the River Cox. It was a lovely sunny day, everything was in its place. Sun was soaring bright, birds seemed to sing in rhyme. Miss Leonora said to all, "Hurrah, it must be picnic time." So Yorick, the Professor, Henry and the Colonel enjoined the ladies to prepare a jolly jaunt to Cox's River. A delightful thought, which when relayed, set Miss Isabel all a-quiver. As the Colonel tossed a salad, Dr. Yorick produced some wine. From Leonora's kitchen came, "Oh, Baba, for heaven's sake!" For she had baked a pumpkin pie, but she'd almost burnt the cake. Arriving then came Henry, horseless carriage in tow. Entreating all be seated with, "Shall we tarry forth to dine?" Miss Leonora brought her galoshes, just in case I should get wet. At destination's arrival, in a cloud of fumes and dust, alighted in fits of coughing near the property of Mr. Rudd. Carried picnic down by the river, found it not exactly in flood. The ladies set rugs and blankets, sorted plates and cutlery, whilst the Colonel and Professor made survey around the paddock. The Colonel suddenly exclaimed, "I say, I've an odd craving for haddock." By time the gentlemen returned, it was the time for feasting, and feast it was. They all agreed, so no morsel left to chance. Miss Isabel, who'd fallen asleep, lay top a nest of ants. Into the scrub Yorick had gone. He'd had a nature call. When from the field yonder came an angry bull that's charging. Yorick leapt 2 feet, burst from the scrub, and through the fray came barging. Miss Isabel, awakened by ants, all crawling and a-biting, screamed and ran to Henry's arms, cried, "Oh, Henry dear, please save me!" Jumping thence into his arms, staggered he to the car so bravely. The Colonel, ever vigilant, had already primed the crank, whilst Leonora had just packed away the rugs and picnic basket. Into the auto in leaps and bounds they sprawled, a tisket, a tasket. The Colonel jumped on running board as the bull reached the car. Henry shouted from the back seat, "I believe top speed's a must." And with Yorick wildly at the wheel, they soon left the bull in their dust, escaping back to safety of town, whilst the sun set long in the west. Miss Isabel madly working her fan, "I'll retire to Laura," she did say, and Leonora resolved to picnic at home, or at least till the end of May. It's entitled, "Oh, I'm in Airship Heaven." I've tripped to old Egypt by Calais and Marseille. I've had high tea at Baghdad, creme brulee over Mandalay. I've flown through every time zone on the way to Old Bombay, and I've sipped and toodle-pipped over the bay that's called Biscay. Oh, yes, I'm in Airship Heaven, flying in a Zeppelin. Well, they are 100 over Devon, sipping on my favourite gin. You can keep your driving or sailing. I'm up where the air is clear. There's no bumpy ride, no ailing, in an airship with you, my dear. I've spent some time over Kent and in the bar passing Zanzibar. To Aix and Ghent via Stoke-on-Trent, counted stars on the way to Moskva. I can decree I've flown ocean and sea, far finer than by any big liner. My new goal's to fly over the pole, singing Dinah all the way to China. Oh yes, I'm in Airship Heaven, flying in a Zeppelin. Well, the R100 over Devon, sipping on my favourite gin. You can keep your driving or sailing, I'm up where the air is clear. There's no bumpy ride, no wailing, in an airship with you, my dear.